Now, I'm not rooting against him, but I know there's a lot of people out there that now are looking at it like they want him to fail because they don't want to believe that he's not who he was when he was with the Giants because they're going to have a lot of egg on their face.
Well, that is very true. I think there's more to that. I think there is egg on their face already. I think, oh well, he got to the playoffs, but he didn't do well when he got there. Well, guess what? The Giants didn't get to the playoffs. The Giants were done with games left to play. They weren't there at the end. They weren't there in the middle.
They weren't there. They weren't present in games that they were even winning sometimes. I remember him, he broke a long run and he tripped over like the 15-yard line. I mean, it was a clear touchdown. He was by himself and he just
Right.
tripped and fell. And the camera pans to the sidelines and these guys are all laughing it up and yucking it up. Ha ha, And I'm thinking to myself, what is so funny about that?
Yeah.
You didn't score. You haven't won a game yet. That's funny? It's not. I mean, it's funny if you win the game, you can look back and say, "You got bit by the turf monster." Ha ha.
Right.
But in the moment, that's nothing to laugh about. You've gotta circle the wagons and get that touchdown. You've gotta get in the end zone. There's vastly more important things going on in the game at that moment than laughing at that. And that to me is a reflection of the coach.
Absolutely.
Look at Andy Reid. He got in Kelsey's ass this week. I mean, he bumped him on the sideline. He went right up to him and knocked into him and then followed him down the sideline, yelling and screaming at him. I don't know what that was over, but we
I
talked
I
about last week.
I read a quote from Andy Reid because I tried to search it out, and he said, Kelsey has his head of the game, his foot's always on the gas. Once in a while, he always seems to know when to push and when not to push. He really does know, even though that at that moment I wasn't sure he did, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So like I mentioned last week, the one shot of him screaming at his teammates, "I'm sick of this crap," and then he drops that ball in the end zone. The guy makes a play, and he jogs after the. Like I said, I don't expect you to catch the defender, but anything can happen between the moment he catches the ball and when he's tackled, or God forbid scores a touchdown. What if that guy trips over the 15-yard line and you
Right.
weren't hustling the whole way? The
Well,
guy can't drop the ball. Nothing. Something bad can't happen.
the thing about Kelsey is that he used to, which he doesn't right now, he used to have people around him. He has nobody around him.
No,
That
it's
team is without any other quarterback on that team. I mean, Patrick Mahomes scores 11 points on his own, basically, does some crazy crap, throws the ball, makes an unbelievable pass, and he was off as can be. He overthrew so many balls in that game and everything. But, I mean, you can attribute probably 11 points in their scoring to Patrick Mahomes
being
and
Patrick Mahomes.
it being Patrick Mahomes. But there's nobody else that can make a play. There's no, hill that was on it. It would break one and it go. And
Yeah, it seems like there's some inconsistency in their offense, and Patrick is taking on a lot of the weight of that. You saw it in last week's game in the first half against Philly. It really looked like he was trying to drag his team to a victory in the first quarter, not taking anything for granted that if they were going to win that game, he had to play his best game. And if everybody else around you isn't up to that task, that's when it becomes hard to win in the NFL.
it's interesting. My girlfriend asked me, she goes, how does the team play that well for so long and then get creamed in the Super Bowl and then can't seem to recover? I said, would you ever hear the name Roger Bannister? And she's like, no. I said, he broke the 4-minute mile. I said, and you know what? Everyone said it was impossible. And then the next year, 3 other guys broke it, or 4
Yeah,
other guys broke it.
yeah,
And we saw they had an amazing year, mostly Patrick keeping him in the game. We saw that they were mortal. And now we all know he's mortal.